Good evening. In keeping with the theme of MicNite, my presentation reaches across disciplines to provide a holistic perspective of how privacy is regulated in the workplace. No one discipline has been able to grasp all of the complexities of privacy regulation. Reaching across disciplines, though, has not been an easy journey. It has required time to learn and patience. Paradigm resistance has also made this journey difficult. My background is both interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary. This background has helped me to see paradigm connections that others coming from one silo of knowledge may not see about privacy. My doctoral training is in anthropology and environment and behavior from Virginia Tech's College of Architecture and Urban Studies. Environment and behavior, which is sometimes called environmental psychology, is a subdiscipline of architecture that examines the relationship between the physical environment and human behavior. My teaching journey at UT over the past 17 years is somewhat unique. I've primarily taught in the colleges of architecture and design, business administration, and now my home, communication and information. Experiencing different disciplines in this way has given me valuable insight into how architecture, business, and communication answer some of the privacy questions. Each discipline has contributed to their piece of the privacy puzzle. So what is privacy? Privacy is a psychosocial state associated with the regulation of interaction between the self and others and/or environmental stimuli. An example of this definition in the workplace is an individual or work group trying to psychologically tune out surrounding noise, which is an environmental stimulus for privacy. Workers define privacy in terms of their needs for privacy and are identified on this slide, and I'll give you a few moments to read the slide. This next slide identifies worker definitions across job types that mirror privacy needs. These definitions also denote privacy regulating activities. The needs are not static. Disciplines tend to focus on a particular privacy theme. Some disciplines focus on the control over information, other disciplines focus on the retreat from people, and some focus on the regulation of interaction. The regulation of interaction is considered to encompass the first two themes. Business primarily examines the control over information to regulate privacy that's accomplished through formal and informal policy and social supports. An example of this is an organizational policy supporting flex time arrangements that allow people to work at home on certain projects during prime time so they can have minimal distractions and interruptions. The shortcoming of business is its primary reliance on policy to regulate privacy that underestimates individual and group behaviors. An example of this shortcoming is the open floor plan deployed by an organization that's supposed to increase communication and support teamwork at the expense of privacy. This is also done to save on corporate real estate costs. The reality is that workers typically communicate less in these types of distraction-porous environments where a lot of privacy has been lost, both for individuals and work groups. And the initial corporate savings are decreased long-term because of a decrease in worker productivity. Communication primarily examines the decisions people make to reveal or conceal private information with a sole focus on psychological boundaries. The major limitation of communication is its central premise that individuals control their privacy by the decisions they make. This premise presumes that people are in control of their environments. Work environments whose social setting and policies are governed by the organization and whose physical environment, its architecture, is deployed by the organization, not the individual. For example, organizational policies that enforce surveillance of employee email, social networking, phone conversations, and so forth may reveal private information that the employee had chosen to conceal. Also consider the physical environment of an organization. You may decide to reveal private information to a coworker without realizing that your conversation has been overheard because you're housed in an open plan that does not provide enough acoustical privacy. Architecture examines the effect of physical and symbolic boundaries on individual and group privacy through design attributes, such as the building's shape, size, orientation of workspaces, layout and design of interior walls and cubicles, furniture and equipment, light intensity, noise level, and temperature and airflow. Environment and behavior is equally interested in both the physical environment and the behavior of workers that individuals and work groups use for privacy. An example of an overt behavior that workers may use is repositioning furniture and equipment away from their cubicle opening to regulate visual access and exposure. The shortcoming of architecture and environment and behavior is understanding the importance of organizational policies in particular that support or impede privacy regulation. For example, well-designed conference rooms that support individual and group privacy may not be available because scheduling policies for the use of those spaces are inadequate. You are looking at a multidisciplinary approach to privacy regulation in this slide that's an example of bringing the disciplines together to best answer how privacy is regulated in the workplace. This approach uses the contributions of all three disciplines. No one mechanism regulates privacy by itself. The model embodies the environmental privacy theory that I proposed in 2000. The dashed lines represent a single disciplinary approach to privacy that was proposed by the communication discipline in 2002. The communication singular approach to privacy overlooks the majority of the privacy regulators and their networks and patterns of dependency. The bigger picture here reminds us that bringing the knowledge of multiple disciplines together to solve problems gives us a greater chance of understanding crucial components of each problem. Truly, we are better working together than apart. Thank you.